Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's No Bull Beer Reviews. Today I have another beer from Cinderlands Brewing Company out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is part of their Tart Shake IPA series, which is a sour IPA series. This beer is called Nebula Colada. It is a tart. Looking for the actual description. I guess really isn't one. It just says Guava Coconut Tart Shake IPA. So it's a sour IPA with lactose. I guess that's what makes it a shake. With guava and coconut. And yeah, that's all. And the hops that are in it are Sabro, which generally have a significant amount of coconut flavor. So I think that makes sense that they have that in coconut in the beer. And this is 6.5 ABV. So I'm going to crack it open and see what we got. I have not had this before. Generally, most of these tart shakes have not... they've basically been kettle sours and not really sour IPAs. There's really not much hop character, but I'm hoping and assuming that the Sabro kind of bolsters the coconut flavor in this, so we'll see. You can see it pours a pretty hazy orange color with a nice fluffy white head. Whew. That's definitely a lot of coconut, but it's probably more... I'm assuming it's probably more from the added coconut than from the hops, because I've had IPAs that were predominantly Sabro or even single hop Sabro ones, and I get this coconut forward. I definitely get something else that I get in a lot of these that is like a graham cracker character, which I know they actually add graham cracker to a lot of them. But I'm getting that in this too, and maybe it's something with the lactose. I don't know. But I don't think lactose even actually had a smell. I thought it was more just like a sweetness and a body type thing. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess I do get... there is a little bit of other tropical fruit besides the coconut, which is probably from the guava, so I'm guessing that's part of it as well. So, I would say unlike a lot of the other Tart Shake IPAs, this one is actually a little closer to an actual IPA. I mean, the coconut is way over the top, and by over the top, I don't mean that it's bad. It's just that it's obviously not just coming from the Sabro hops. There's definitely a lot of coconut in this. There is some other like tropical fruit character, which I'm assuming is the guava. But it's really not that tart. And it's also, there is like a decent amount of bitterness on the back end. And there is just a tiny bit of, just like earthy, resinous hop character too. So this one at least does have a little bit of hop character, which I think makes sense, with the guava and the coconut, that the hops would come through a little bit in that. But the ones that have like the more like berry type fruits like raspberry or whatever, those are just going to completely overshadow the hops. I'm a big sucker for coconut. I'll start off by saying that. So I actually do really like this beer. I know I'm in the minority when it comes to like most of the people that I drink with in Pittsburgh are pretty... I don't want to say they're not super old school. Like, I'm not that old school either. I haven't been drinking craft beer since 1990 or anything like that. But in the grand scheme of what craft beer is today, I'm pretty old school, and this type of beer among the other people I generally drink with, at least from Pittsburgh, most of them don't like this type of thing, which is fine. I completely understand why someone would not like this, and I generally don't like this type of thing either. But they somehow make it work. Like I said with the other ones, it's not like my favorite thing, but they take the weird stuff that they have in it. Maybe you could say that they shouldn't be doing that in the first place. Excuse me, that's a completely different argument, but they take what they the ingredients that they have with this, and they. I mean, I would say maybe if the coconut was like scaled back just a tiny bit, and they still use Sabro, and then maybe put like some Citra in there too, where it's a little bit like more citrusy, and so you get a little bit more hop character, a little less of the coconut, but you still get the coconut and the guava, and I think it would just be a nice mash of everything. I think that would make this a lot better. But I do still really like it. I will say though, when I was trying to think of when this was. Oh, it was around. It's like the weekend after Labor Day in September. Uh, my brother and my friend who's gotten me a lot of the Pittsburgh cans were visiting me, and we rented a boat and went out on the lake. And I happen to have like several of these different ones with me, and this just kind of reminds me of that. Where do I want to drink it? You know, if I'm trying to just really dig deep and drink some really fantastic complex beer, probably not. But if I'm sitting on a boat in a lake in the hot weather, would I want to drink this? Absolutely. So that's what you really have to think about. It's not. I mean, it was snowing here today, so is this a good beer for that? Probably not. But you can't judge it just on that. I'm not trying to drink a giant barrel aged stout when it's 100 degrees either. It's the opposite. But as long as it has a time and a place, then I think it's a worthy beer, and I could see this having a time and a place. There's a little bit of that's probably from the hops too, maybe. There's almost like a little bit of like lime character, and I wonder if that's kind of going with that like pie crust that I get as well. I don't know. I mean, honestly, half of these flavors are probably artificial. I have no idea. And I'm not saying that because they make some really good quality beer, so I don't think that they're just bullshitting with these. They're weird as hell, but they also make some really nice pilsners, some good wild beers, Brett beers, that type of thing. So they're not like a complete bullshit gimmicky brewery. So I don't think that like everything that these are all completely like artificial ingredients, but they somehow make the flavors that they add in there pop really well. So I give them credit for that. So even if this, isn't in my wheelhouse to drink every single day, it has a place, and for that I'm gonna give it a buy. I would buy this again. This one especially, I think, is one of my favorites of this series. I also appreciate that it's like 6.5 because they've done some of these that were like 8.5, and I just don't need that. This type of thing is supposed to be refreshing. You don't need it to be like 8 or 9%. If you're drinking out on a boat or something like that, you don't want to be getting rocked from like 3 or 4 beers, and that's what, if it is 9% in a pounder, that's going to happen. So, sub 7% is what you want with that, and this is 6.5, so that works. But that's all I got in this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.